start. Stop tracks. Arriba, arriba, everybody. Here we are with the Mexican special with a nice cold Corona in front of me. And it is filming, we are filming on a Sunday. It's Father's Day. Whoops. To those of you that are here to celebrate Father's Day, let me just pick up that beer cap. For those of you that are here to celebrate Father's Day, I hope you all have a great afternoon. I know we can't all be together, but I'm sure you've all done something nice for your dad. Mine should be receiving a Providore box with a beautiful Yum Cha pack from David. So Dad, happy Father's Day, and thanks for everything you do for us day in and day out. Now, if you don't like my tacos, I'm not your type. And we're going to get into some Mexican cooking. So we're going to start off, of course, with a little bit of a Corona. And accompanying the Corona today is a bit of lemon. Cheers, everybody. Accompanying the Corona today is also some tequila, and I thought I'd do a tequila shot, except that I don't actually have any shot glasses. So instead I have a stemless champagne flute. I'm also wearing this fantastic, beautiful, I mean, let's face it, very fashionable Corona shirt with a low button. And this particular top was supposed to be for Lauren's housewarming, which was cancelled 3 times. It never happened, so it's the first time I've ever worn it. I did get the iron out today, gave it a nice little iron, and it's ready to go. So should we have a crack at this tequila shot? I think we should. So as you can see, we're doing fish tacos 2 ways. So one's going to be grilled and one is going to be panko fried, and they're both going to have different accompaniments. So, and also different tortillas. I've got some flour tortillas here, and I have some corn tortillas just here. So we're going to do that a little bit differently. Today, the pineapple that's sitting on the bench actually has a purpose. We're going to use it. We're doing a pineapple salsa. And we have all sorts of other goodies, avocados, capsicum, or bell pepper, as it might be known, or red capsicum, red pepper. We have Chipotle spice. We're going to make a batter to go with our, I think we have Flathead today. I hope we have Flathead. Pretty sure we have Flathead. So the fish is going to be the same. We also have our Panko for our fried crumb. So just take a chance. Just taco a chance on my cooking. And let's get into it. Should we try the shot? I think we will. Okay, so we should have, just trying to remember the order of this. I think it's a sip of lemon, then the shot, and then the, actually we'll rub a little bit of lemon onto my palm, and then we'll cover that in some sea salt. So it's a nice bit of sea salt there. And we'll also, let's have a go at this, eh? Absolutely hits the spot. Okay, so let's get underway with a little bit of the taco cooking here today. And I found some great taco jokes online, and taco jokes always get a bad rap. Now, I do love tacos, and in fact, tacos reminds me of LA. So I know that we're technically taking a trip to Mexico because we're still in lockdown in Melbourne, the never-ending lockdown. So we're going to take a trip, but instead of going to Mexico completely, because I've never been there, what we're going to do is actually focus a little bit on LA, because my sister lives in West Hollywood, And a big shout out to my sister and Sean, recently married. Congratulations, guys. And very happy for you. And when I'm there, my sister and I, Blondie, we used to know her as Beck, but Blondie always takes me to my favorite taco place of all time, which is on Sunset Strip, and it's called Pink Taco. And it is absolutely amazing. It's great for people watching, great for food. Unbelievable chicken tacos where they have this sort of pink stuff on top, pink sauerkraut, something like that. I'm not even sure what it is, pink cabbage, whatever it is, it's amazing. And you sit there in the hot sun. You generally have a Corona or a Dos Equis or a Pacifico, in fact generally a Pacifico, and we sit there and we while away the afternoon with some tacos. And then when I saw my sister over in LA a few years ago, she was doing some work, hair and makeup, for the Comic-Con festival, or the Comic-Con event in San Diego. And this is an unbelievable event. I'm not exactly sure the numbers, maybe 330,000, 300, that shot's already hitting me. About 300,000 people go to the event, and what should take you about an hour and a half to 2 hours to drive from LA to San Diego takes you 6 hours. So long, in fact, that I stopped at In-N-Out Burger twice on my way. And that was pretty good, actually. But when you get to San Diego, we went to Comic-Con, and I didn't know what I was doing. I had to fill in the day. Beck gave me a special green pass, and I was cruising around Comic-Con, and I ended up in the wrong sort of session. They do these sessions with the TV actors talking about what's coming up and what's new and new shows and new pilots. And anyway, instead of ending up in what I thought I was going to, I ended up in the My Little Pony, which was quite embarrassing. And and Beck and her friends, or Blondie and her friends, got a hell of a kick out of that one. But also, when we were there, there's this place in San Diego which is effectively, I should do some cooking, by the way, so maybe I'll do some chopping of parsley just so you're not thinking all I do is talk. But when we were there, we went to this place just near the hotel where we were staying, and it was called, or actually it was the hotel near where Blondie was staying, but it's actually called It's a Taco Drive-Thru. And I mean, what a great concept. So as soon as you finish the night in town, night of partying, dancing, on the way home, instead of going drive-through Macca's, you drive through It's a Taco Drive-Thru. And not only do they offer tacos, they offer every single Mexican dish you could possibly imagine. So it really is pretty cool. Let's get into the cooking. Let's get started. We'll start, I think, by preparing our batter, and then we'll work on crumbing the fish and the salsas and putting everything together. Should be pretty easy, so I hope you enjoy it. And as I said before, let's get cooking, let's get Mexican. Arriba, arriba. Well, we're back and we're ready to cook. So, straight into the batter, everybody. Get yourself a bowl and get yourself some plain flour. Now, we don't want too much, and look, we're just kind of a bit of guesswork. You can Google a batter recipe if you like. I just have some plain flour. I'm putting it into the bowl. I don't need much because I've only got a few, I think I only have 200 grams of Flathead fillets for each dish. So I really don't need a lot of batter. So I've put 4 probably dessert spoons into that bowl. I have a whisk, and I'm going to whisk this up for you. Okay, so I want you to be nice to my tacos because they have fillings too. So many taco jokes. So I've put in a little bit of soda water there, and I'm just going to keep adding the soda water until I make a batter. So the soda water keeps everything sort of aerated and light and fluffy. So I'm just going to add it gradually and whisk so add, whisk, add, whisk, add, whisk. Now, you can leave a batter with whatever you like. Some people would do a beer batter. So not sure if you can see that, but it's not quite there yet, but it's a bit lumpy. I want to get those, make sure it's nice and soft. I don't want it too runny because I want it to actually, hold on to the fish, but also I do want my batter to have some flavour. So somewhere on this bench, here we go, I have some Chipotle seasoning, and I'm going to add that in. Chipotle is such a beautiful smoky flavour and aroma to it. So that'll change the colour of the batter a little bit, that's fine. Now, you should always test things as you go, so that's quite subtle. I'm going to add a little bit of sea salt to this mixture as well. So I want it to have a little bit of seasoning. So I'll add a bit of sea salt there. Now, you can also dress this up a little bit, the fish, because you can put a Chipotle mayonnaise on afterwards as part of the taco, so you don't probably want to overpower, just a couple of sprinkles really of that Chipotle spice. I'm going to add a little bit more of the soda water. And then what I do is I put that aside, so I basically, you can see it's changed colour. What I'm going to do is put that aside. We're going to grill this fish, but I'm just going to let it sit for a little while. It'll sort of aerate a little bit more, or it should aerate a little bit more. Okay, so get your old elbows in there, give it a bit of elbow grease, have a bit of fun. And have a little bit of Corona as well. Okay, so if you're checking that for, I don't know if texture is the right word, but if you want to see, you want to make sure it's not too runny. So this is quite a runny mixture at the moment. If you have a look, see it's just falling off. So I'm going to add a tiny bit more flour to that because I want it to be a sort of a slightly thicker batter, but it's also preference. And the good thing about these batters is you can add anything. I mean, you could throw vegetables in here and do vegetables, sort of tempura style. And as I said, if you feel like putting beer in instead of soda water, you can use mineral water. It doesn't really matter. So long as you're getting that sort of air in there. So I'm quite happy with that consistency now. I think that'll get us to where we need to be. So I'm going to put that aside. I think we'll crack on and we'll make the pineapple salsa. Now the pineapple salsa is going to need one of these, which is a red pepper. Okay, now we probably don't need too much of this, but I'm just going to thinly slice it, and then effectively I'll probably just roughly chop it. So as I said, I don't really need too much because we're only making a few tacos, so I mean, this depends. I'm going to cut across there, dice that all up. I want it quite thin, small pieces. So I'll grab that like that, dice that all up. Okay, that's pretty much the pepper done. Keep going, get it a little bit thinner. Hope you had, as I said, I hope you had a good Father's Day. Hopefully you went for a walk and down at the park. Weather's been okay in Melbourne, rained on and off, but not too bad. And I bet we're all looking forward to seeing loved ones for a good get together and a meal out. And it's certainly one of the hard things about lockdown, isn't it? And border closures and all those sorts of things. And while we're at it, I think we should add in another taco joke. So, why shouldn't you trust tacos? Because they always spill the beans. Boom, boom. Okay, pineapple. Real pineapple, everybody. So, I'm just going to cut that across the top of the pineapple there. Now, in that core can be quite firm. I'm just going to go down halfway like so. And I'm actually going to take off the sides. Now, I've never actually been taught how to cut pineapple, and I'm sure I'm doing it wrong. I'm sure you can Google it. But fresh pineapple really is beautiful. So that's the pineapple just out of the way there. Now again, we don't need a lot, we're just making a little salsa here. So I'm just going to make sure I've got a couple of those little rough edges off. So we've got a nice piece of pineapple there. I'm going to basically just take out the core because I don't want that hard part. Now, if you cut into that, you can actually hear it's like cutting into cardboard. So that's not the part I want to be eating. If I cut into here, it's nice and soft. So look, real pineapple. I'm sure you can get the canned stuff out, guys, but for a tiny bit of effort, I mean, look how easy that was. For a tiny bit of effort, the result is going to be superb. So I'm just cutting that into, look, see that looks like it's come out of the can, but it's real. And let's just taste a bit. See if we can do this again. No editing, guys. Everyone's got to have one party trick, and that seems to be mine, except for the time that I tried that with a potato jam at my sister's house and ended up in the butler's pantry. Okay, so here's my little sous chef, Alfie. He gave me a pair of Nike runners from Father's Day today. And you're not going anywhere near the food, little buddy. So, there's our pineapple. Thank you for my Nike runners. I do appreciate them. They came in pink, which is exactly what I wanted. And Alfie, you don't even like flour. You hate flour. Anyway, he's curious. Let's jump into another beer, finish off our salsa. What I was going to say is a lot of people use coriander, cilantro, for this next part. It helps if you have the bottle opener up the right way. And I personally don't love coriander. I can eat it, but it's not my first choice. So from that perspective, I'm just going to throw in a bit of parsley, really just for the looks, and a little bit of lime juice. So let's bring this all together now. I'll grab a, g'day mate. Here he is. He's behaving. So I've done the pineapple. I'm just going to grab a bowl. Just 1 second. Okay, so I'm grabbing a bowl. I'm putting the pineapple in there. I'm putting the red pepper and a little bit of parsley. Now, into that, we need some lime. The trick with limes, they say, it's the same with lemons, if you want to get more juice out, you just give it a little bit of a push down like that, a little bit of a rub, and it releases some of the fibres inside and you get more juice out of it. These limes are beautiful, by the way. Look at that. Oh. So I'm going to squeeze half a lime in there. You can add a little bit of the rind if you want, but I'm just going to go half a lime. Now you can also add a little bit of olive oil if you wanted to, but that's okay. And what we're going to do now is just get a little bit of sea salt in there. Okay, I'm gonna have that flavour, and I'm going to mix that up. And the good thing about the fresh pineapple is the juices have actually sort of run out. And so that, you can't probably see very well, but that's really runny now. So that's quite a tasty pineapple salsa. And doesn't it look good when it's sitting on top of a fish taco? So I'm just going to try a bit of that. Yeah, so that lime juice has brought out that liquid as well. Really, really nice. So we can set that to one side. We've done our pineapple salsa. We're ticking off the jobs. Okay. Now, the other optional thing in that is chili. So you can add a bit of fresh chili if you wish, or you can add the chili on the top later on just for decoration. It depends on how you wish to plate the dish. Now, going back to the order of things. So we're going to do a pineapple salsa, but then we want to have, with our other dish, we want to have an avocado puree. And the avocado puree is going to go really well with that fried panko fish. Also, we probably have a little bit of tomato and potentially a little bit of cabbage or lettuce for crunch. And that's pretty much all that we need to do for that part of that dish. So let's make the avocado cream, or the avocado puree. We're gonna get some sour cream out for that, and we're gonna pull this all together. Let's keep cooking with Sam Gamon. So, we're back again, and what did the Mexican carpet layer say? Andale, andale! Okay, the jokes are getting better and better. So, we're going to do an avocado puree, everybody. For this, you need a really big knife. And you need also to make sure you've got a half decent avocado, and you never know what's going to happen with an avocado. And fortunately, spectacular. So yes, we got into the old, you may remember the old avocados about a week ago on the show when we made the avocado smash. I've had some pretty good feedback on that, and a few people that have said that they didn't know how to poach an egg until they saw the show. So that was good. I'll tell you what, I don't drink Corona that much. It's quite a good drink. It's nice when you're having 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, but when you get up to 10 or 12, it's a little, sometimes gets a little bit too much. So I've done a whole avocado, and as I said, we're only doing 1 or 2 tacos here, so I'll stop there. But you know, some of the recipes say 2 tacos, 2 avocados. This is sour cream. And I'm going to put in, okay, it's not a light one, it's a real one, so be very tasty. I'm going to put in a spoon of sour cream, and then what I will do is put a little bit of lime juice. So we have our lime that we had out before. I'm just going to give a little squeeze of lime juice, not too much. And seasoning, of course. So get a little bit of sea salt in there, drizzle it from an exceptional height for no reason at all. So that's pretty much that. All done already. So on we go with the lid, this little hand blender. I'm going to take that over to the bench and plug it in because I don't have any power on this side of the bench. Oh, actually, I could probably get close. Probably get very close. But that's okay. I'm going to do that quickly. I'll come back. Well, we're back again and we're ready to crack on. So we're going to make the Panko crumb. And the first question you should always ask yourself is, do you have enough buttons undone? Now the first question you should always ask yourself is, do you know what you're doing? And we pretty much don't. But anyway, we're going to do a couple of things here. We're going to start off with the opening of the flathead. Actually more than I thought. So that's from Clams Seafood. One of Melbourne's best known seafood places. And clearly not known for their packaging. It's hard to open. Okay, so we'll work this out eventually. I'm going to start off by getting the flathead into the great difference with you. Anyway, we're going to get the flathead into the batter that we made earlier. So I'm sure you can all see that. We'll get the flathead into the batter and make sure that it's fully immersed. Okay. So you might remember I did put a bit of seasoning and also that Chipotle spice into this batter mix. So really, these are beautiful quality flathead fillets. So really that's done its job. So just so you can see, everything's nicely coated there. So we're just going to put that to one side for a second and we'll come back to that. Now we're going to do the panko crumbs. So we've got 2 eggs in here that I've mixed up with my fork. We have some panko crumbs and we also need some flour. And it's the same with any style of crumbing. And that is that whether it's a schnitzel or anything else, in fact, it's funny that we should talk about schnitzels because that might be something that features on the show soon, very soon, could even be the next show. Okay, I'm going to grab some flour to put in here and then we're going to quickly put our panko crumb together. Now with the panko crumb again, I might put some salt in. I have quite a lot of panko here, so I'm going to do a couple of handfuls of salt, probably 2 to 3 pinches of salt. Sounds like a lot, but it's going to get all mixed in. So I'm just going to mix that across like that. Now you can add the parsley to this if you wish. Maybe we will, just because we have quite a lot of parsley from earlier. Isn't it funny, you know, Andy, one of my mates from work, he was saying to me, oh, everybody always comments on the fact that you don't cook for the first 8 to 10 minutes. So I thought, oh, I'll just cook. And then, of course, I think I went 9 minutes before I actually started cooking. But anyway, that's okay. I know that's what you love. You love the dancing. You're only here for the dancing. Although a few of you have got a few pointers from the cooking shows. Stay tuned. I'm going to get the flour. Well, we're back and we're going to do the panko crumb. Now, I'm not sure if you noticed earlier, but this dance is from one of my favourite movies that I used to watch with Dad, The Three Amigos. Oh, God, I love that movie. It's a great movie, actually, during lockdown. Really good to get that movie out. And if you do have kids, they're going to love it. Okay, so the first step to the panko crumbing is to grab your flathead. Flathead is a beautiful fish. It used to be very cheap and underrated. It's now very expensive and extremely well rated. And it deserves all the accolades it's ever had. And I guess it's one of those things, you know, we always went out fishing when we were younger and we caught a lot of flathead and we wanted to catch snapper, but we caught flathead. And we used to go out with Dad and his best mate Andy, and my sister Rachel and I would be covered in zinc. Do you remember zinc? Anyway, good times. Listening to Bon Jovi and trying to catch fish, but catching flathead and being disappointed. Now we'd be very excited to be catching flathead. So that goes into there. Now it goes into the egg bath that we made up earlier, and then into the panko crumb. So fish into the egg. Make sure you coat it very well so that everything sticks. So it's important that you do that flour process at the start. For whatever reason, that seems to bring it all together. Okay, so our first crumb, into the crumb, our first flathead goes. Give it a nice coating, make sure it's well sort of stuck together. It's our first flathead. We've got about 5 fillets here, I think. I don't overcrowd the egg wash, so I can do 2 at a time, but I try not to overcrowd it. You just want to make sure that they get well coated. So we can speed things up by doing that. So we're going to do a few of these, and we're going to, these ones will be fried in vegetable oil. Vegetable oil is supposed to be good for frying because it can handle a high heat. Olive oil less so. And this is the same method. If you were going to do, you know, that batter that we did earlier, that would be perfect for if you're doing stuffed zucchini flowers. Some people put ice in their batter as well, actually. Ice and the all-important beer or the mineral water that we talked about before. I've been neglecting my drink and somehow I've ended up with parsley inside this Corona, so I don't know how that happened, but it was a fresh herb, so that's okay. Bought today. Okay, so pretty much that's it. We've crumbed our fish. We've battered our fish. We've made our ingredients. And then how we're going to elevate the dish is we've got a Chipotle barbecue sauce if we wish to use it. We have a Chipotle hot sauce if we wish to use it. So we have a few tricks up our sleeve. We'll see how we go. We'll just decide as we go, I'd say. And let's get the oil on, get that up to heat so that we can do some cooking and get this fish underway. We'll be back. One, two, three. Well, I'm not sure if you can hear, but that's a little bit of rain on the skylights. And there's one other thing we forgot to do, and that is to top up on the old tequila shot. So sometimes it's margaritas, and sometimes it's the old tequila shot. Whatever the situation is, you have to go with the flow. yeah, arriba. Okay, so here is our panko crumb fish. Are you ready to do some deep frying? Let's get into it. We'll see you soon. Okay, so we're going to start cooking the fish. So we have the beer battered flathead into a warmed up hot frying pan. It's not too hot, and again, like we did with the panko crumb, and we just don't want to overcrowd the pan. So we're going to do this in 2 batches. I'm warming up the oil in the other pan, and I have a piece of potato in there just to check that the temperature's right. If you Google these things, you can see that they do tell you what temperature to bring the oil to on a thermometer. I'm just doing the prehistoric way. So here we go. Flathead's cooking, looking good. You can see the batter is starting to sort of harden up around the edges. I'm just checking that potato is starting to bubble away, so that's reaching heat as well. You'll see that later on because I have another camera going, so I'll merge that in. That's that other tripod. We're getting very professional here. It's the first time we've run with the dual tripod. In fact, my sister's just been over to Colorado where she's been in the dueling banjos territory. For those of you that have seen the movie Deliverance, you'll know what that is. And for those of you that haven't seen it, I recommend you don't. No, it's actually a very good movie, very good movie, but it's probably one of the most disturbing movies you'll ever see. Okay, so I'm getting a plate ready for the fish. I'm just going to check that fish. You can do this on the barbecue if you wish. So it's not, that looks good. It actually looks like fish and chip shop, but it doesn't have probably quite enough colour. We'll just let it go for a couple of seconds more. Looking good though. So one of the other things you probably think about is the size of the tacos. You might want to cut the fish up actually into smaller bite-sized chunks, but we can always cut it afterwards, so that's okay. So that's going really well. We're going to give it a couple more seconds and then we'll flip it over. So this last one's been a bit tricky, of course. So that has some really nice colour. Doesn't that look so good, golden? Good thing about fish is it's quick to cook. So we can pretty much do this by sight. I'm not timing it. I mean, timing it, it's probably 3 minutes per side, but that's at a guess. Don't take my advice for it. Jump online and have a look. Let's start with the panko crumb. So I've just dropped the panko crumb fillets into that side. And what we're going to do is get it ready, a couple of plates with paper towel, just for drainage. We don't want anything too oily. And we'll need to turn that fish in the panko crumb shortly as well. So let's just have a look how this fish is going. Looking pretty good. Looking really good actually. I'll just take a bit off the bottom here just to have a look. And that's absolutely well and truly cooked. You don't want to overcook this fish. It'll keep cooking once it's out. I'm also going to grab some tongs and I'm going to turn over our panko crumb. And we're very close to cooked there as well. Okay, so I'm taking these ones off. I'm going to bring down the heat a little bit on our oil over on the other side. getting very close to cooked. Very close. So what I've done is I've cleaned this pan with a bit of paper towel before I do the next batch. So that's the first batch of fish. And the reason that I've done that is because you don't want that sort of dirty or very hot burnt oil to tarnish the next batch. So we're going in with a little bit of olive oil. I've actually just brought that off the heat a little bit because it was getting quite hot. Bringing that back on, and into the pan, our last fillets. Okay. I want to show you close up what our crumb fish looks like. Look at that. How good is that? I just tried that, it's amazing. Always have a look just to make sure it's not too hot in the pan. Just have a look underneath. Make sure you separate these fillets. So they're going beautifully, they're not too hot. On the other side, going to give it a bit of a quick turn over. Well, there we have it. We're ready to plate up. Beautiful fish. Beautiful fish, beautiful Corona, avocado, salsas, all ready. So we'll bring you back up a little bit. Oops, that was a bit jolty. Gee, I wish it wasn't locked down and I actually had a real camera crew, and I wish I was a real TV star, but I'm none of those things, so we'll just have to make do. Okay, so what I have, the flour tortillas. They went into the frying pan, no oil, just straight into a hot frying pan, or fairly hot, until they were brown on both sides and they've come out. They're nice and toasty and they smell good. The corn ones, same thing. They just got warmed up on both sides until they were ready. So now that they're ready, we need to go to the next stage. So how are we going to do this? What are we going to do? With the corn, we thought that perhaps the fish that's been panko fried would be the best way to go, and also the avocado puree. So I'm going to go down the middle with the avocado puree on both. Now you can really do anything you want with tacos. It's really up to you. I'm going to just tear these little bits. Look at that fish. Is that perfect? I'm just going to tear little bits off. Okay, like so. Just tear little bits off. Get those nice bits of chunky fish in there. So I've got the fish ready to go. So that's those ones, okay? Now with this one over here, this is what we decided we'd allocate for the grilled fish. Now, just to finish this one over here, I talked about doing the tomato salsa. So you remember we made the tomato a little bit earlier. So that's the tomato there. So it's lime juice, parsley or cilantro or coriander, as you might know it. So that is that's all set up. now we go over to this one. This one, we might wish to do a bit of a Chipotle sauce. So I've just got a store-bought Pippa's Kitchen Chipotle barbecue sauce. I'll run that down the middle. Ooh, gee, that tastes good. You might remember we had the Chipotle seasoning. So we're going to go over that with the fish. I'm just going to taste it. Oh. How good is Mexican? Now, with that one, as you recall, we did a pineapple salsa. So we're going to add a little bit of salsa on the top there. So a bit of pineapple salsa. And then for crunch, we can choose between cabbage or iceberg lettuce. And personally, I like iceberg lettuce. I'm also going to add a little bit of, to this one, the one with the avocado, a bit of Chipotle, what is this? Chipotle hot sauce. Or you could add Chipotle Tabasco. But it also depends on, what you like, how you like it. Now, you can just stop there if you like. You just fold over into your taco. If you want the crunch, go for the crunch, add some lettuce. Let's just try it. Oh. I'm telling you. That is unbelievable. It's got quite a kick because I added that hot Chipotle sauce, but it really does make a difference. I'd still add or recommend adding some cabbage or some slaw or a little bit of iceberg lettuce to that one. And with this one, let's bring you in for a close-up. Let's have a try. Oh. That is a heavenly combination. Again, add the iceberg lettuce, would make a difference. But both are so good, so juicy, a little bit different in their presentation, but so good. As always, enjoy. Hope you've had a good Father's Day. Hope you've loved, let me start again. Let me have a sip of beer. Hope you've loved the cooking show. And as always, get your cooking game on with Sam Gamon. Woo! That's a wrap.